Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inner Conquest, the world's greatest modern metaphysics channel. I'm your host, Jacob Edens, and today we are going to be discussing how reality traps you. Ooh, it's trapping you. You better be careful. Don't want to get trapped forever. Ooh, some good scotch. So, okay, remember, real you, soul, in a body, okay? Important to understand. If you're not aware the real you is physical and in a body, you're fucked. Because if you're just in the body, right? What can happen to the body? Super vulnerable. If you get your arms cut off, there's no way to eat cereal. You cannot eat any cereal. You're donezo, dude. And what happens when you die? Who knows? It's a big mystery. So, understanding that this place is not your home, you're a visitor here. Second, you're in a body that is able to be damaged because for whatever reason, we thought it'd be fun to play a game where you can get battle damaged. So, in a body. Third thing, memory wipe. Don't have any memories of your past experiences when you come in here. That's why you get born as a baby, right? You run into somebody and you're like, oh, it feels like I've known you forever, right? I wonder how that happens, okay? Reality is set up to trap you, okay? And the reason that it's set up to trap you on the fourth aspect of what I'm speaking on is that when you are manifesting, you are creating, you go into a dream, right? You go into a lucid dream. That's more akin to what you would call the other side. If you watch people who have NDEs, they go through portals and shit. What the fuck, okay? Here, you create something with your mind and it takes a time delay for it to manifest. That's why you have elongation of input to output, okay? So what happens is when you mix up this cocktail, okay, of not knowing who you are, putting you in a body that you identify with because it's shaped like you, but it's also not you because it can decay, it can do all these things. Sucks, okay? And you put a time delay in your manifestational capabilities, meaning that if I'm thinking, nothing's happening, oh, I guess it doesn't work, forget about it. Boom, do some other shit. Boom, it pops up, oh, well, it happened because of this thing. You assign secondary cause to whatever you think created that thing, but it was really your own intention, your own will, okay? This whole cocktail comes together to trap you. And what it wants to do is essentially make you focus at your feet when you're walking. Never wants you to look up. Never wants you to go, hold on one second. What is actually happening here? When somebody dies, their body's on the ground. Think about that for a second. You are the power source of your body. So when you die, where do you go? Well, if you want to answer that question, what would you do? Well, you would go to YouTube and you would search what happens when I die. And then you would see a video called an NDE. And then you would watch that video. And then you would see, oh my fucking goodness, there's 1,000 of them. And all of them are different stories and all of them are different, but in all of the different aspects of those videos, they have one thing in common. They're still them and they're physical. They're in a body, looking at their other body. So what that tells you is that you're sheathed in a human machine, okay? Now, if you're sheathed in a human machine, what does that mean? If I put a glove on, I'm not the glove, dude. No glove, no love. Baby, don't mean to take it there. But anyways, you're in a body, okay? When you die, you're still you and you're still physical. Why is that important to understand and to fucking drill into your mind before anything else? Before, oh, hope I can manifest my SP, but I'm gonna live 80 years chronically afraid of dying. Because that is a foundational layer of understanding that if you can understand that when you die, you're still you and you're still physical, now you understand that you're in a game. You're in a particular experience. And the reason that being in a particular experience and or game is important is because the player is greater than the game. If you play Call of Duty, okay? If you're playing Call of Duty and you're so immersed in Call of Duty, you are winning every game, and then you go on a losing streak and you're losing. You're like, I can't stand this game anymore. You just get up and walk away from the game. This game you can't walk away from, right? That's why you see people get depressed, you see people give up, you see all these different things because it just keeps going, okay? Now here's the key. When you go to sleep, you leave the game. You go into what are called dimensional spaces, which are created from your subconscious thought forms. The reason that's pertinent is because if you think about every dream that you've ever had, it usually correlates to something that you have been dwelling on. So when you are in a dream, you are in a fourth dimensional real-time experience, and specifically if you become lucid in that dream, you have control over the dream, which is much more what is like you would call base reality. Or if you want to take Neville Goddard's words for it, you're not in this keyed down version of reality. If you're in a lucid dream, apple in my hand, got the apple. If you're in this reality, apple in the hand, no apple, okay? So you're in a keyed down reality. You have to remember that you're in your body, time delay with manifestation, persistence and faith. You apply those two, you're never gonna miss. You just gotta understand that there's a time delay. Once you overcome the time delay, understand that if you go on after this, death isn't real. So boom, core root of all fear, disengaged and disentangled. Once you drop all fear, fear is a limiting substance in your body, right? It's kind of like a paralytic juice. So if you are driving a car and you're super confident driving the car, you can go wherever you want to go. You're like, let's just go, gear shift. If you're in a car and you're like, who's going to hit me? Oh my God, this is the scariest thing I've ever done. You're going to go this fast and you're going to maybe go to the corner market and then you're going to slowly drive back and you're going to run inside and look out the blinds, okay? Understanding something about fear. Fear is not natural, okay? Because if fear were natural, it wouldn't feel so bad, okay? When something feels unnatural, it's because it's not really you. And the only reason it cannot be you is because you're in a game that's simulating an experience that is the antithesis of you. Isn't that good? So if you are physical when you die and you are not limited by fear, now you're not trapped in your reality because you can look up. What do you do when you're afraid? You look down. Oh, I hope he doesn't get me. When you're not afraid, what are you doing? What's going on? Hey, what are we doing? It's a party, right? Disengaging fear is your number one objective in life because fear is really just an energy that gets stuck to you, right? And anything that gets stuck to you can be washed off, and through your sheer will and intention, you can command it off of you, right? So when you understand that you have these aspects set up to trap you in the game, it doesn't mean that those things aren't real and or able to trap you, but now you understand the game at a much better level of how to navigate it, right? And if you're able to command your space, understand that when you're in a higher dimension, you create effortlessly. You're still that same creator here. There's nothing that changes about you. You're that same creator. You're just in a keyed down version of reality. It allows you to persist because you know in this stupid place, there's a time delay with your manifestations. So the only thing that can stop you is if you're going, it's not here. Because now you've diverted your focus into it's not here. The universe is always going to tell you exactly yes to what you're saying is true about reality, okay? To go into truth, there are core truths and there are perspective truths. When you have a core truth is something like you cannot have unconditional freedom with a limitation. No matter how many times you look at it, it doesn't make sense. You can't have unconditional, unlimited freedom if there's one limitation, right? Core truth of reality. Your soul is eternal and cannot die. That is the root of all fears. The reason that your mind won't accept that initially is because fear locks you down and you have this. But if you let go of that fear, you can go, hold on one second. There's 1,000 NDE videos online and they all say the same shit. Oh, it's physical. It's looking over my body. Wish it did this, right? So as you completely eradicate that fear, you understand that you're the same creator that you are in a lucid dream. You're just in a keyed down reality. You begin to take your power back and you begin to strip away the very boxes that contain you and make you feel small, because you are not small. You are enormous. In the same way that if I'm playing Call of Duty and I have my little dude running around shooting the other little dudes, right? I'm playing the controller. I'm 10,000 times bigger than the man on the screen, okay? And even though when that guy gets shot, I go, to rage out because I was doing really good, I'm still okay. The real you is always okay. So once you start treating this like a game and you get a couple of these key points in, your entire dynamic of how you move through reality starts to shift, because now you understand it. When you don't understand it, you're walking blind into scenarios that you have no idea how they came into fruition. But once you understand that you create through your thought and your focus and what you accept as your identity, right? I'm always someone who has this happen. That creates that thing. I'm always someone who wins. That creates that scenario. I'm always someone who has this. That creates that thing. So as you begin to consciously select the things that you want to create, now you're understanding that you're playing at a little bit slower game, a lot of fuckery, a lot of stupid shit, but hey, you're a fucking badass. And once you start to adopt that mindset, now you begin to outthink your opponent, which is most of the time yourself, but it is also your reality. Because anything that happens to you that is not a circumstance that you want, you can and have the capability to think and imagine immediately as if that thing were solved, and not only solved to your specifications, the way that you would like to see it solved. You can imagine a field of infinite possibility. You can break that field of infinite possibility into 1,000,000 little pictures. And you can have each one of those 1,000,000 pictures represent a potential effective solution to anything. And then you can go further. You can go, well, if there's 1,000,000 solutions, I can break that down into my top 10 solutions. And if there's top 10 solutions, I can pick my top 3. And out of my top 3, I can pick the one I like the most. So you just broke down 1,000,000 potential solutions into a top solution that is of your choosing because you wanted it that way, not because it was the only solution. That's what being free is about. Being free is having options and understanding that because you are the creator of your reality, you have to act like it. Because if you act like a slave, this universe will reflect you as a slave. And you cannot be a slave and be a master at the same time. And what breaks down all of that bullshit is just understanding that anything that limits you is a fear, right? Because if you weren't afraid of it, you would just think of it as already solved, understanding that there's just a time delay and the things that you assume and accept of who you are and yourself are going to manifest. It's the law. It's going to happen. You remove that fear, you're good to go. Now, I know you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys would like future videos made, feel free to leave them in the comments. Additionally, the link tree has coaching options for the protocols and then the one-off coaching sessions as well. If you have any questions, email me. Other than that, and more important than anything I said today, go conquer, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.